Womp. Womp.
It really takes a lot of points to get to the power.
Yeah, it does. So I'm using this hammer for as long as possible. Now that we know where to go, it's definitely gonna take less time.
So you stole Ted's bus and crashed it here. But mere mortals are you, foolish beings. I'll be rid of you in no time.
Still, all that time I never saw Jug.
No, me neither. Dude. This thing will not die.
Ow.
There we go, Jesus. The Ochelon.
Oh yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
I really hope I get
Now I can reload.
What's a killing?
Spins hammer. Oh yeah.
Woo! Now we're on the fun side.
Oops. Dylan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. Why?
I don't know. I was just
I
curious.
heard for in a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I'm just hanging out, listening to Ryan screech. Surprisingly, good enough time on its own. Very, very. Man of the people.
Oh yeah, that's really helpful.
It's already a given.
My one-hit hammer is now one hit.
God dang. It's a miracle.
They're satisfying, just fucking bonk.
If only they had better sound effects.
Honestly. I don't know, I don't think I want to use a fucking pistol starting on a map ever again.
You know, you can just knife. It's not that effective, but you can.
Not as fun. Not as fun.
I enjoy this slightly more than the lightsaber.
A little bit, yeah. Only slightly, though.
Only
Lightsaber
slightly.
goes to the nostalgia. Well, that is wonderful. Maybe that's how you get a power up. You just go up to it and just fucking jump and bonk it.
Give it the old jump bonk.
The old running start.
Ye old screw you.
Man, will you fuckers hurry up? I think it's next round it becomes 2-hit.
Something like that? Why they gotta be so slow?
It's so annoying.
What is this gun over here? And 1 grand. Hmm. That is more points.
If this weapon works out well, I must remember to come back here.
Oh, Dylan, I finally finished the 6-hour-long zombie storyline video, so if you're ever ready for your synopsis...
Oh, this is the perfect time to do it. We're streaming and talking.
Alright.
I'm listening.
Oh, this... Hang on. We have the fucking... I am Groot, motherfuckers. Alright. So do you know the original story about German scientist Richthofen? He joins this group called Group 935. And it's basically this group designed to better the human life or existence. I don't know. Something like that. They're working on shit like teleportation and like other cool shit.
Here we go again.
And then World War II starts. And they're like, hey, we'll give you a lot of money if you make us weapons. And they're like, yeah, okay. The other guy that Richthofen works for, his name is Dr. Maxis. He's like, they're gonna pay us a lot of money if we make them weapons. And so that's what they do. He basically just needed money, so he was like, yeah, we're gonna do this, and then I'm gonna die.
Oh no. Oh, well, this isn't good.
Oh, that's why it's the duck. It's the power up of the duck. But anyway, so they get a bunch of money for helping the Germans. And then Richthofen's pissed because he doesn't want to make weapons. He wants to do teleportation and stuff. Right?
Mm.
And so what they have to make to power the teleporters and stuff is an element called Element 115.
Yes, I am familiar with this.
Yes. That is the element they use to power everything. So, here, I'll kill this one. Oh, never mind.
No!
So, the more you're exposed to that, the more insane you become, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, he uses it a lot more because he just continues doing the teleportation stuff behind his Dr. Maxis guy's back, even though he said not to. And they teleport a walnut, which is kind of cool.
Sending time, space nuts. Hurt.
Yes. Wait, what's this? Is it 3? It's not 3. And then they, you know, get a lot more done. They start doing shit. I'm probably gonna die because I don't have a gun. No, we'll be okay for now. Oh shit. And yeah, so they get a lot more done, and eventually Richthofen becomes so confident in it, he's like, I'm gonna use myself as a test subject. So he does that, and he sends himself to the moon,
Many would come here to pray.
to this black pyramid thing that's called the MPD, which I don't remember what the acronym stood for now.
Fuck, I can't remember what it's. I remember what it was used for, but
Yeah, I remember what it was, like what it did, but I don't remember it was like it's the moon pyramid device, I think.
Yeah, moon pyramid device. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically, if you remember on the map Moon, it's that black pyramid in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
So he gets teleported there, and then after that,
I have power turned on, by the way.
oh nice. I don't remember if he touched it or what he did, but like maybe he tried to touch it or something. And then he got teleported back in time, I think, to somewhere in the Himalayas, which is, oh, I got the dropkick perk and Deadshot. Okay, that's weird. And basically that's Shangri-La. Like, you get teleported to the Shangri-La map, and the people start worshiping him as a god. And he first sees a object or artifact called, was that the seer stone or no?
The focusing stone.
Oh, focusing stone. That's the one. So many fucking stones in this. I can never remember what all of them are called. And so he sees that for the first time, and then after, he basically just comes fucking running back to Doris. After some time, it was like, hey, we gotta build a fucking base on the moon. And this other guy I was working for was like, where the fuck have you been? They basically just wrote him off as dead.
I would have too. Fair enough.
And so,
Something you need to understand whenever you're exposed to element 115 is that you start going insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so like, we have to keep doing this. We have to build a base on the moon. So basically, they build a base on the moon, called quote unquote Griffin Station, and that is the map moon.
Okay.
And so at the same time as all of this, there's element 115 in Japan, and it's being fucked with by another group very similar to 935, but under the Japanese jurisdiction, called Division 9. And they set up the Rising Sun facility, which is
Zetsubo. Oh wait, no. You're right.
Yeah, Gage, you didn't watch the summary.
Wait,
Just listen.
no, they set up Zetsubo too, though. That was
No,
Division 9.
Zetsubo is the other dimension. No.
Well, yeah, but Division 9 also is, yeah.
Yeah, they do. That's
I found
later down the line.
I found a shield part.
Oh, nice. What is this? Oh, that's
shield
just
part?
ammo.
Dude, where is Jug at?
So yeah, Japan starts doing shit, and then the Dr. Maxis guy, he's like, hey, Germany, we need more money so that we can produce your weapons. And then at this time, they also figured out that it can revive the dead, so they also want an undead army, so they start working on that too. So they're like, all right, we'll give you 3 more facilities. We'll give you this asylum, which is, I can't remember the name of it.
Verrucht?
Yep. And then they give him a theater, which is
Kino.
Kino der Toten, and they give him, it's Call of the Dead, but you don't actually play on the place he gives you, or that he gives them in Call of the Dead. You do in Tog der Toten, but it's called the Siberia facility.
Okay.
And he gives them all these places to fuck with the dead and shit. Carpenter. And so they're doing that, they're experimenting on the dead and shit. I remember with Richthofen. Is Richthofen doing anything important yet? No. But the Siberian facility is basically where they work on, they called it the Super Soldaten program. It's the,
Super soldier.
yeah, Super Soldier. That's where they do the zombies stuff. And then the other, like, mini bosses in the game, that's where those come from. And trying to remember. I finished a while ago. The fucking, oh yeah, that's where they like test on test subjects and stuff. And the first test subject was Takio, because Division 9 sent him to oversee the stuff they were doing at Shinonuma, and then he was like, "Hey man, this shit's ass. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. This is terrible." And they're like, "Okay, well then we're just gonna test it on you." And he's like, "Oh, sweet."
It's like,
So-
or you shut up. That.
So they give Richtofen and Takio to experiment on. And yeah. So he gets the other guys from Nikolai's captured in the Battle of Stalingrad, given to Richtofen, and then Dempsey is captured when him and a few other people go to Verrucht to, try and stop what they're doing and shit, or just spy on them, one of the two, and then they get overrun by zombies, and then Tank gets captured, and that is the map Verrucht. That's what you play whenever you're playing Verrucht.
Okay. Cool.
And so now he has these 3 test subjects that he tests all the perks and stuff on, and they're getting a bunch of exposure to 115, so they eventually don't remember who they are or what they're doing, so that's why they always just blindly follow him around all the maps.
Slightly
And-
horrific, but dope.
Yeah. So what maps have we covered? We've covered Verrucht. That's it. That's the only one we've actually... Oh, Noct. Noct is kind of irrelevant to the story. It's just kind of where everything, quote-unquote, starts. It's just your 4 soldiers that crashed into a truck that was carrying a bunch of zombies, and then, yeah.
How do you get
Zombie
over
outbreak.
there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ah!
So basically now Richtofen is just getting... Oh, I guess he has another test subject too. It's a Mexican guy named Pablo, but he's like kind of relevant now, but not really relevant until the next dimension. But or he, like, the way the guy explained it is he went back to he started in the middle of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, and then went back to World at War and Black Ops 1, which is really weird.
That's not a good way to do it because you need
It was a really good way to do it because...
But that messes up the actual reason that everything starts to happen.
It didn't.
Because you need World at War to happen to make sure that you set up this everything and the cycle.
Yeah, but
the
technically it starts way further than that. It starts all the way back.
Well, yeah,
So,
but to like tell the story, you need to have the cycle started, which is whenever Ultimus ends up all touching 115 and dealing with it. That's why they're connected, and it sets up the Black Ops 3 stuff. And yeah. I don't know. You can interpret it how so many different ways to wherever you just want to start your story.
Yeah, I mean the guy did it like really well. And it was,
Who do you watch out of curiosity? Because I've watched
I
like 4 of them.
I don't know who this guy was, but it's the longest one I've seen. It's like 6 hours long, and like I just did it like piece by piece at a time.
Fair enough.
And he went. It's 6 hours because he goes through a lot of stuff that aren't really like important, but just like cool.
Like how the pack-a-punch is set up and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was.
I thought that
the first part.
I thought like all this. Anyways, go ahead. I can talk about this after you're done with your synopsis.
Yeah. All right. So where was I? Yeah, so Richtofen is getting pissed off at Dr. Maxis because he's like still just trying to fuck with the undead army and the weapons and like appease the German army and stuff when they should be just like doing other cool stuff.
Ryan, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get you.
You're fine. But essentially, Richthofen's trying to reach this place called Agartha, which is like heaven, essentially. And he knows about it for being transported to the MPD and like touching it and shit.
I hope this is what it. Yeah. Okay. Good shit.
And so he's trying to get there, and he's like over time just becomes obsessed with it and obsessed with it and obsessed with it, and he eventually just gets super pissed off when they were testing like teleportation and stuff, he like locks Maxis, his daughter. Well, first they teleport his daughter's dog as a test subject to see if it works.
The
And it
devil dogs,
Turn-
zombie dogs.
yes, it
Yes.
turned it into the
Found Jug.
Chosen a path
Oh,
to
nice.
riches.
And
I
then
did not.
Richtofen develops this plan to lock Maxis and his daughter in the teleporter and just teleport them wherever. He doesn't care as long as it's not there. And so he can do his shit. So he does that. He enacts his plan. He teleports them. Maxis gets teleported to. I can't remember who he gets. They both get teleported to the moon, but his daughter Sam is teleported into. No. She ran into the MPD whenever she got to the moon. She just ran inside it and just hid in there, and then it closed, and so that's where she stayed. And then Maxis got teleported and was killed, or no, he killed himself. And then his soul merged with the technology on the moon, or on the moon base. And then I need to get out of here. This place is a fucking death trap. Hang on, I'm trying to escape here with my life.
You're good.
I don't know where Pack-a-Punch is, and this is starting to irritate me.
Don't know where I am. Okay, there we go. Sort of. Yeah, fuck. Alright.
If my weapon is empty,
So after that, he's like, okay, I need to put
do
in
you any good?
a lot of events in
Oh,
motion.
I don't
and do
like that.
A lot of things. So first he has to go back to the Rising Sun facility in Shinonuma to get his diary. So he goes there, and he gets his diary. And he gets overrun by zombies because Sam now controls the zombies. So he's trying to kill this motherfucker. So he raises the dead. He's like, hey, kill this asshole. And then he's like, fuck. So he awakens the test subjects. Tank.
No, son of a
Nikolai,
whore.
and Takeo. And they go on a bunch of adventures and stuff. They essentially get his diary and go back to the giant, or Jarice, whatever you want to call it. And then she sends more zombies there because she wants to die. And they're in the teleporter, and they're originally just going to teleport, I think they were trying to teleport to Hinata, but they go forward in time because Tank fires the Wonderwaff at the same time as they use the teleport, so instead of just teleporting them, it sends them forward in time. Now it's like 1963, and they're at Hinata. I can't remember why they're there or what they're doing. I think they ended up there by mistake.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And so they use a lunar lander that was stashed there after fighting off hordes of zombies because Sam just sent a bunch of zombies there to kill them. And then they use that lunar lander to go to Ascension.
Okay. I like
There.
Ascension. That was a good map.
Ascension was fun.
Agreed.
I also agree. Then there, they help Dr. Gersh, who... Shit. This is not the way that I wanted to go. They help Dr. Gersh get free, and they do something else. I can't remember what else they do. They get, what does the Easter egg do in Ascension?
You free Gersh, and
Yeah.
you send
you get
not one of the scientists to 5.
It will all be
Oh, yeah, Yuri.
for you.
Yuri, yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah.
Yuri, but I couldn't remember if it was or not.
Yeah. This is that Yuri guides. Dude, I can't get to wherever you are. Like, I keep trying to cross underneath in from the starting area to where you are, but I just can't do it because I go
yeah,
either go
you
the
have-
wrong way or just die.
You have to go the other way. Gosh, I don't know how I'm supposed to get you there.
You're not.
Oh, no, well, it's over anyways.
I was gonna say. That was fucked. Because I just died once down there and then.
You have to stop talking when the song starts.
Alright, deal.
No hesitation.
No hesitation whatsoever.
That's my only deal here.
Yes.
It's a good deal.
So they swap bodies, and Maxis, who is still mixed in with, like, in control of all the electricity on the moon, he basically just launches a bunch of missiles that were on the moon at the Earth and just blows up the Earth, so that Richtofen can't control, like, everything. Because basically, like, if you're in Agartha or whatever, you have, like, control of a lot of things. Essentially, what live in Agartha are race beings called the Keepers, and they basically kind of, like, keep the universe in order and stuff. And the only thing they're not allowed to do is mess with human free will, but they can. So that's basically what Richtofen is trying to do.
Okay.
And so Maxis just blows up the world, so that way there's nothing for him to control, even if he wanted to.
Seems a little bit dramatic, but okay.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of stuff that happens in between this time. Well, technically during all the maps and this resolution, but it's not, like, relevant, but it's like you don't need to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that's kind of, like, super, even that's not really super important.
It's really weird debating on what's important to say in a synopsis on the fly like this, because granted, most information is genuinely needed for you to get the whole picture of what's going on, but, like, to tell someone that's not truly invested in, like, then what, do you really need those details?
Right, yeah.
Hey man, I'm invested. I'm sitting here.
So on the moon, they're in the year 2025. That's why Black Ops 2, 2025, it all aligns. Because they went forward in time whenever they bounced off the moon and went to 5. So it's the year 2025, and he blows up the world. And doing that, Richtofen's now just chilling out in paradise. And he basically just tries to talk to anybody on Earth who's still alive, and you can only hear him if you eat zombie flesh. And so there's this group on Earth now called the Flesh, and they basically have all eaten the zombies. For honestly, I don't know what compelled them to do that. Like, I don't know, like, who was just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking eat that.
Like, that looks fucking tasty.
That looks like some high quality gourmet shit.
Well, some of it had to do with experimenting and research on what's going on, from what I understand. I can't remember. I can't remember.
Didn't explain why they ate it, but he just explained that they did.
Yeah.
Check that out.
I think he said, like, I think he made it seem like they were doing it to, like, survive, but I don't know. I would rather die than eat that shit. Fuck that.
Tastes like chicken.
You never know, it might.
It really might. So he does that, and he starts talking to them, and he's, like, trying to get them to do shit. But Maxis can also talk to them. I don't remember why he can talk to them.
I don't remember either,
Same
actually.
reason.
It's not the same reason. It has something completely different to do with it because, why is it?
I don't remember why. Yeah, I don't remember why he can talk to him.
Because only one of the 4 from the, Victus can hear Richtofen. I can't remember his name. Wow, it's been so long since I've gone through this. Yeah, Stuhlinger.
So yeah, and then. Oh, but I kind of have to. No, I don't. So, Camp Edward is Nuketown. Like those are two different things, and so the Victus crew is like Russman, guy named Marvin, guy named Stuhlinger, and then girl named Misty. Misty, and then so Russman is he worked for something Arrow.
Broken
Arrow, which was the U.S.
Basically the U.S. equivalent of 935, if you really want to go that far.
Yeah, so he worked there. So he was at Camp Edward trying to transport... Do you remember on Transit, the electrical guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was trying to transport him to... well, no, he wasn't trying to transport. He was just trying to check to see if it was still there and still contained and shit like that.
Avogadro.
Yeah, the Avogadro is what it was called. And the Avogadro is basically the American version of Richtofen, who tried to build the APD, which is the American pyramid device. He built that, and then when he went inside it, he got turned into the Avogadro. And then just kind of killed everybody, and then went back inside, and then never came back out. And so he tried to, like, just check on it and shit, and then he accidentally sent it to Transit, where that map takes place. And once he did that, he set off the failsafe, which was the nukes in Nuketown, and blew the whole place up. And for some reason, that Marvin guy was there. I don't remember what he was doing there.
He was in the bunker like for some reason.
Yeah, he was a conspiracy theorist or something, and so he was there, like, looking at it. He was there just, like, trying to uncover some, like, deep fucking mystery. And so he hid in the bunker whenever the nukes went off. And so, they all got together because Russman hijacked a bus that was, and then met Misty and Marvin, or whatever, Martin, whatever the fuck his name was. Melvin, I don't know. And then they picked up Stuhlinger, and now they're basically just all out here trying to survive. And Stuhlinger, because he was part of the Flesh group, can hear Richtofen. So Richtofen's like talking to him, and he's like, "You need to go do this shit." And like,
save the world.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily save the world.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Because Maxis wanted to destroy the world so that Richtofen had literally no power. Right? And so they started Transit because that's where they all link up. And then after that, they have Maxis trying to get them to do what he wants, and then Richtofen trying to get them to do what he wants. But they end up doing what Maxis wants. Because, I don't know, it's literally just two people just, like, arguing the entire time, like, do what I want, and then they just pick Maxis because, I don't know, it sounds the best.
Honestly, if I wasn't already insane by that point, two people arguing inside my head would probably send me over the edge.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That is fair. But they do that, and then after that, Maxis teleports them to a building in China called Dairais, which is the map Dairais.
Yeah.
And then there, they do the whole... I don't remember. They do something else that... It's another, like, hey, do what I want, do what I want, do what I want. And
they're linking towers. I don't remember what kind of towers, but they're linking towers.
Yeah, they're linking these things for Maxis because they have Maxis basically in a drone. Like that's what you do on transit. You basically just activate this drone that Maxis then controls.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of cool. But yeah. So they do what Maxis once again, and then he sends them to Buried, which is a old western town underneath the mines in Angola, Africa, that got sent there because this guy, well, there was 115 in these mines back when it was an American western mining town. And basically there was one guy that went missing and he came back as a zombie and killed this guy's mom. This guy's name was Jeb Brown. He got
Very
visited.
American sounding.
Yeah, right. It was either shortly before or after this, he got visited by what he called angels, but these were these keeper guys that I was telling you about. He was like, hey, you need to build this machine, right? And he's like, okay. And so he built the Pack-a-Punch. And then he put his mom in it.
His mom.
It's not a joke. He did that. Yeah, he put his dead mother in it, and then she just kind of became a ghost that wandered around their house. And then shortly after that, it got teleported to Angola, Africa, because that seemed like a pretty good spot, I guess.
Yeah, check
Seems
out.
legit.
And then, so they're now in Buried, and this is the part where this is like the final stage of like both of their plans, or Maxis's plan, where he basically just boots Richtofen out of the MPD, and he gets stuck in a zombie's body, and then Maxis just blows up the world. Like, no exaggeration or anything, like he just ends the world. Everything gets sucked into the dark ether, and then, yeah, that's the end of that. And then we get to Black Ops 3, where we have a battle in, like, France or whatever. This is where the Keepers and the Apothicons, they get really, like... This is where they come into play. So the Keepers, like I told you, they're, like, kind of, like, keeping balance in the world. That's why they're Keepers. And then the Apothicons are basically, like, the opposite, where they're just, like, evil, and they just, like, wreak havoc on everything. Essentially, I guess. I don't know. And then...
That's a really good basis.
Yeah. The guy at the forefront of that is called the Shadow Man. And then the guy at the forefront of the Keepers is called Dr. Monty. It's basically like God and the devil. It's like a really good way to think about it. Except...
Okay.
Except
not.
also horribly.
Yeah. Essentially, they're like best friends who just like hate each other's beliefs. And where are those? So that we get the fullest understanding here. So basically, at the beginning of the world, is that a nuke?
No, it's a. Hold on. There we go.
I mean, it works either way.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a nuke.
So they kind of started all of this whenever there was this event way back in the history of the beginning of everything called the Great War, which is eventually those two groups slugging it out. And the Keepers eventually just win and banish the Apothicons to the Dark Ether. So, but they kind of cheat this system by just spitting 115 throughout the cosmos and just, yeah.
Trying to escape.
Havoc. Yeah.
Okay.
So, whenever that happens, they hit a spot in France back during World War II, and kind of like the same thing happens, except in this one, Maxis and Richtofen instead are like, I don't know, like it's weird. There's like a version of Richtofen who travels throughout the like over different dimensions and timelines and all this shit, and is like trying to make things right because the universe got severely fucked up after the Ultimus stuff, and the only way to fix it is to carry out the events of Black Ops 3. So Richtofen at this point, I don't remember how Maxis quote unquote dies in this one, but
well, which death? Because he...
Good point. The first one.
Well, in this one, he dies in France over a zombie, and you come to Richtofen trying to replace his brain.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, kind of the same thing happens, like, Nikolai, Takeo, and Tank are sent there to, like, see what's going on with the Germans, like, what they're doing with this stuff. And when you do that, you run into Richtofen, like they said, trying to replace Maxis's brain.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as one does, of course.
And then you're just like... My brain keeps getting derailed. And then he's like, we need to do this shit to set the universe right. And you're like... Okay.
Okay, boss.
Yeah, they're like, alright, cool. And I guess before that, there's Shadows of Evil. Well, no, it goes Origins and Shadows of Evil. So after that, they go on more space adventures with Richtofen. And after Origins, you go to, well, Richtofen goes on some solo space missions as I get surrounded by zombies. And he goes to Shadows of Evil, which is a bunch of fucking... It's a dancer, a boxer, a magician, and a sheriff who all had, like, super bad shit going on. And so the Shadow Man was, like, manipulating them and, like, doing a whole bunch of shit. It was basically just manipulating them into thinking, like, bad stuff was gonna happen. And then, sent a bunch of zombies and stuff to what they call Morgue City, and they go through a bunch of, like, they complete a bunch of steps and, like, rituals, and the Shadow Man, they eventually trap the Shadow Man in something. They trapped him in something, I don't remember what the
Summoning key.
Summoning key. They trapped him in the summoning key, and then they went to give it to one of the keepers so he could take it away and lock it away forever so he could never escape. And then Richtofen comes in at the very last second and snipes it, and he's like, I'll be taking that.
As one does.
Yes, as one does. And then eventually Richtofen knows what needs to happen because he came a hold of this book called the Chronorium, which, if you read it, it's... Jesus Christ. It's literally just a book that tells you exactly what happens.
Depending on who the holder is, too.
Yeah, depending on who... Yeah, because it's different if you don't have a soul.
Yeah.
I need a different gun because this one fucking sucks. And so he knows what to do, but he leads them on this, like, crusade where it's like not believable, but it's like, you're like, all right, that could be why. He essentially is just like, we need to kill the other dimension U's to set the universe right. Or, like, set events in motion to set the universe right. And I actually got it fucked up. They didn't all meet... Well, yeah, no, they did all meet at Origins, actually. I didn't fuck it up. So they go to the original timeline's Doris, right after Richtofen teleported Maxis and his daughter in the teleporter. And then he opens up the teleporter, and new Richtofen comes out, the one that's here to save the world. And he comes out and just blows his own brains out, right? So,
What?
yeah.
If can I add something?
Yeah.
This isn't actual Ultimus from the original.
it's
This
not.
is
Yeah,
a
it's not.
different. These are different universes of themselves.
Yeah.
Well, no, I got that much.
Okay,
Just the whole
okay.
blows his brains out.
Yeah.
Was very simple.
Yes. And then, so they do that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh well, that's it.
I never bought. Which was another Group 935 facility. And
Hello, everybody. Welcome to
they chase him away
Applebee's.
with a giant robot. Yeah, Gage is not here. Just he's not playing.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, okay. And then, because there's giant robots in this universe, like on Origins, so they hop in a giant robot after the Reese, and then they chase after this truck with other Dempsey, and they go to Horizon Track to kill other Dempsey. And when they do that, they blow up the moon. There's a reason they blew up the moon, but I don't remember why they blew up the moon.
There were Griffin Station was after him.
Yeah, and fucking yeah, they were trying to get Dempsey to Griffin Station, and Dr. Groff was being a dick, so they just blew up the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do that, then they kill other Dempsey, and then they go to
Stalingrad. Gerard Kroby.
Holy shit, it was the Gerard Kirby, wasn't it?
Yeah, they went to Gerard Kroby after that. Wait, no, they went to. Didn't they go to Zetsubo first to get
Yes.
Takio?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
went to Zetsubo to get Takio first. And then they went to Zetsubo no
Oh my
Shima,
god!
to kill Takio, which Zetsubo no Shima, as we talked about earlier, is basically this dimension Shi no Numa. And Takio, in all the other stories, there's some things that are different. Takio's is the only one that stays exactly the same.
For unknown reasons.
Yeah, it literally stays exactly the same. The Emperor puts him in charge of overseeing what Group or Division 9 does at this fucking research facility, and then he says, "Hey man, this is fucking ass." And then he's like, "Okay, well then we're just gonna test it on you then." And
Okay.
so yeah. By this point, they start to trust Richtofen a little more, even though they don't know what's going on because they're exposed to a bunch of Element 115, and they're just starting to forget literally everything. And so they go and they kill other Takio, and then they go to Stalingrad, which there's dragons in this universe for some reason. I don't.
Giant mechs.
Yeah, to kill other Nikolai.
Well, this is awkward.
Nikolai is like the only person who's still super doesn't trust Richtofen and is like, this guy's out to fucking destroy everything, and he doesn't actually know what he's doing, which to an extent he's kind of right. And so they go there, they finally kill other Nikolai, and then before Maxis, because Maxis is at this point the one kind of teleporting them around, because when he died, he got sent to Agartha for unknown reasons, and so
Okay.
he's the one that's kind of been teleporting them around. And so before Maxis takes them to where he is, so they can fix everything, they go to Mob of the Dead. But they do this to get blood vials from the Mob of the Dead characters of
Victus.
Oh yeah, they got
They get
Victus'
it from
vials.
Victus.
Victus is still alive because they got... I don't remember what happened to them. What the fuck happened to Victus?
They went on a whole quest to get to Chronorium.
Well, I remember that.
And then they end up in...
Why they're still alive at the end of Black Ops 2. I don't remember why they're still alive at the end of Black Ops 2.
They get, they get sent into a teleporter by current Black Ops 3 Richtofen, and are sent to go get the Chronorium.
Yeah. That's right.
Later.
That's later though.
Yeah, but that's how that happens though, is that they escape. And then I also would like to add the current Richtofen that you're playing as is it has a different set of morals compared to all the other Richtofens, because this Black Ops 3 is an endless loop.
Yeah.
After Ultimus.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, we're not at the end of this loop yet. But so they go to to Mob of the Dead to get the blood vials from Victus, so that way they're essentially like an anomaly in the timeline, and they're like not. It's I never fully understood why they get the blood vials, but it's so that they're like, because they don't have souls, so they need to be people. So they have blood.
It's that, and then that Victus is trapped in a place that Monty can't reach, so he can't technically reset anything that deals with them.
Yeah. That's it. Oh shit, we never turned on the power.
I'm just vibing right now, man.
I'm also just vibing, but
I love that this map is such a vibe.
Same. So they get the blood vials, and then Maxis brings them to Agartha, and they destroy the teleporter and are basically just gonna live the rest of their days there. And then so that way they're there and not on the earth, and so that way nothing ever gets ruined again. And then Maxis hears the Shadow Man talking to him in the summoning key and is like, hey, let me out. So Maxis lets him out.
As one does when a key talks to you.
Yeah, as one does whenever somebody starts talking to you from inside this ball, yeah.
I trust it.
Yeah, right. And so he lets him out, and then he just blows up everything.
Very rude.
But like, he brings in Apothecons and just starts wreaking havoc.
Did you buy Jug?
No, I didn't actually. That'd be a smart idea.
You only got a Rift 9. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that before I didn't really want it. And so Maxis sets him free and then dies. Again. Basically, Maxis is Kenny from South Park. He just dies every time.
It's a horrible but completely valid way to look at it.
Like, yeah, like in every story, he's just dead. And so, basically, I forgot to mention that Richtofen's soul is just constantly stuck in Agartha as a little kid. So, like, when your soul gets sent to Agartha, for some unknown reason, it just gets turned into a little kid. So, all the kids are now chilling out, like, having a little play date and shit. Including Sam, for some reason. I don't know why she made this still a thing, but she's still a thing here.
Her soul was in Agartha.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's why. At the end of Black Ops 2, her soul was in Agartha. And so, and Richtofen's soul ends up there, too.
All the kids do. That's what happens with the summoning key.
Yeah. And then, during this last map, which was Revelations, which is basically just a combination of every other map that ever existed. Which, I don't know if you probably haven't ever played that one, which we definitely should at some point.
It is definitely one of my favorite maps, just to bullshit on.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite maps. But I actually don't think it came with Zombie Chronicles.
No, it didn't.
Really lame. Really lame, so.
Ow, 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 ow.
But, anyway. So there, basically, Dr. Montes is trying to fight off the Shadow Man and kind of re-trap him.
Okay.
And then, so, once he finishes that, they defeat the Apothecons, they banish him back to the Dark Ether, and then Monty's like, alright, well, I need a way to fix everything. And he's like, I don't really know how you guys are still here anyways, and then he sees they have the blood vials, and he's like,
you're assholes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're an asshole. He's like, well, now I gotta figure out what to do with you, and he's like, well, I'm just gonna wipe you from existence. And he starts wiping them from existence, and then he's like, wait a minute, I have a better idea. And he essentially just sends them back to the Great War to help humanity defeat the Apothicons. And thus the cycle is born. So.
Goddamn,
the
goddamn.
The end, but not the end.
The end question mark.
The end question mark. And so at the beginning of that cycle, there's another cycle we need to look at, which is the Mob of the Dead cycle. So those fucking prisoners are also stuck in a loop where they just, it always goes the same way. The three always kill the weasel. So they just keep running through that cycle over and over again where they all kill the weasel in their plan to escape. Like they formed this plan to escape the prison and then they just kill Weasel for some reason. I don't know why they just want to kill Weasel, but they just fucking do it. And that's how the cycle goes every time. It just keeps repeating the cycle. They just keep trying to escape and killing Weasel. Trying to escape and killing Weasel. Trying to escape and killing Weasel. Until Weasel kills them all. So now the cycle's broken.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah. The dickhead Weasel breaks his cycle, which then breaks the other cycle. So
Is this a bad thing? Should I not be proud of him?
No, you should be.
yeah, you should.
Debatably. Well, debatably.
Yeah, debatably. But so whenever they go back, or whenever they go back, whenever they go to Mob of the Dead in between Gorod Krovi and Revelations, Richtofen gets the Chronorium and he reads it and he's like, well, what the fuck? It changed. Like, it's different. And he's like, well, what the fuck? Why? And so, now there's zombies at Mob of the Dead that are chasing them around. And then they realize that the only way to do that, or to fix this, is to sacrifice that Richtofen, because they needed a blood sacrifice for something. What was it?
It was to stop the machine. Wow, I am so boned right now.
What?
I have the Mark IIIs and the Thunder Gun. Basically, him setting himself into the machine was the catalyst to waking the Richtofen from the Great War that set up everything. Yeah. And
the good Richtofen.
Yeah. And was the catalyst of Richtofen giving the Chronorium to Nikolai to...
Yeah, that's it. So he's like... And then current Richtofen in that timeline thinks it's all just a prank, right? Like, they're just fucking doing that to, like, confuse people, or, like, the Shadow Man or whatever. I don't remember who. But he just thinks it's a prank, right? He's like, okay, guys, I'm in the machine. You can let me out now. And then good Richtofen is like, it's not a prank, bro. And then he drains him of all his blood, and he takes the blood vial, and he smashes it, because they don't need insurance policies anymore since the cycle's broken anyways. And then after that, yeah, he gives Nikolai the Chronorium, because only somebody with a soul is meant to, like, really benefit from having it.
That, and the fact that Richtofen didn't have the strength to do what needed to be done.
Yeah, he knew that he didn't have... Why did I lose a gun? It's been happening the last couple of times.
Did you get,
Milk kick? No.
So, no, I was gonna say the jar thingy.
Oh, Lauren's, yeah. But that scene produces, in my opinion, one of the saddest scenes I've seen in a while.
Facts.
It's like Richtofen hooked up to that machine, and he's like, "You can't do this to me! I traveled across dimensions and time and realities.
I was the nicest one.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Witness to calamities and like if you haven't seen, you should look up the scene. If you take nothing from this, you should look at the scene. It's the it's just the Blood of the Dead cutscene. Fuck. I accidentally killed that zombie that was gonna kill me, but yeah. So they do that, and then they go to. Fuck, where did they go after that?
They went to
that-
classified.
Ah, yeah. No. Classified was in between. Was the other guys? Was the other group? They just go. They just link up with Ultimus in. They go to Groom Lake, where Ultimus was.
Yeah, that's classified.
Oh, I thought Classified was 5.
Yeah, but there's a teleporter there for Groom Lake. That's where Pack-a-Punch is in that map.
Oh, well, they go to Groom Lake, to where Ultimus is being held because they just kind of reappeared out of nowhere and nobody knew how to explain it. Because when they were on Griffin Station, they eventually just got sent back. Because they were testing teleporters to go to the moon and stuff. So whenever they were doing that, Ultimus got sent to Groom Lake. So they're kind of just holding them hostage. And so they had zombie Richtofen, though they didn't have regular Richtofen. Or no, they just had...
They had regular Richtofen, but he was
had
comatose.
catatonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, comatose. And fucking... He eventually gets his soul back for some reason. I don't remember why he got his soul back whenever Richtofen did his thing.
Eventually, one of the radios, I believe, don't quote me on this, but one of the radios said that a zombie appeared out of a portal and touched Richtofen, and he started maniacally laughing or something like that.
Yeah, zombie Richtofen
from Buried.
Yeah, he comes in from Buried and then is like, hey,
essentially,
dude,
Buried.
Here's your soul. And then it is one.
His own soul.
Yeah, it is a radio that says that anyways, because the guy includes all the radios ever in the videos.
I kind of want to watch that video because I've watched like 5 of them, but I haven't seen one that was 6 hours long, and I really do I love this story so much. It's just fucking crazy.
Like, even if you do it bits and pieces at a time, like I did it bits and pieces at a time, just like, you know, half an hour before I go to bed at night or whatever. And then, so, where were we? Oh yeah, they all link up. So like this is both the versions of each character from both timelines. Just link up, and Nikolai's like, we're gonna fight this great war, because he's read the Chronorium, so he knows what's gonna happen. He's like, we're gonna fight this great war, and we're gonna finally bring peace and tranquility and prosperity and all this shit. And then they basically just have a giant party. Like, they just go into the woods and they just have a giant fucking party. They get drunk, they fucking reminisce and talk to each other and have a really, really good time. And then Nikolai kills them all. He just poisons them.
You skipped a little bit there, but you're on the right track.
What did I skip?
The whole Tag der Toten map of what they're doing.
He sends Victus to fucking... I can't remember.
He sends Victus to Call of the Dead and the Siberia station.
Yeah.
And they do all these steps to basically...
I can't remember what they were doing.
They freed Pablo. What else did they do? They did a bunch of stuff on that map to set up this whole situation.
They destroyed something.
Yeah, what did they do? Ah, my gosh, it's been so long.
They destroyed something. I don't remember what they destroyed. Either destroyed or got something.
What was it? I'll have to look it up afterwards.
Yeah. So he sends them to complete the task they needed to complete, and then whenever that's finished, he then hands a gun to little kid Sam, because there's Sam and Eddie, which are Richtofen and Samantha's souls.
Oh,
And
they
then-
destroy the summoning key.
That's what they did. They destroyed the summoning key. And then after I'm totally dead here. Yep. I need to buy double tap. I'm not even thinking about this so much that I don't even know what the perks on this. So once they do that, Richtofen kills them all, or not Richtofen, I'm saying Richtofen. Nikolai kills them all because that's what needs to be done in order to set the universe right. Because like they were the problem.
That really sucks dick.
Yeah, it does.
They were the problem.
Because they were like there was. I'm totally dead here. Yeah. They were the problem.
Yeah,
Everything that